So what most people would look from the outside is they say, oh, this is a guy who has it figured out. He's got it dialed in. He's achieved X, Y, and Z. And what you're saying is you don't even fully believe that you've reached your capacity.
I haven't even touched 50% of it yet because I didn't realize until I got so sick how sick I was going into some of the hardest things in the world. When I realized how tight my body was, because you know I didn't bitch about shit.
Right.
I didn't go through like when you're going through SEAL training, you don't sit back and say, hey man, do you have this problem? Do you have that problem? You know, hey man, I'm having a tough time just getting my leg over the fucking cargo net. Because literally, my abductors were so fucking tight, how I ran was like, I took like steps like this big.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't like striding out. My shit was fucked up. I mean, and so at that time, I was 24, 25 years old. I was literally spitting in a 64-ounce Gatorade bottle. At nighttime, I would drink it. And then at nighttime, I would hawker up these brown fucking loogies, and the bottle would be halfway full by the time I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go back to work. I figured everybody was doing this.
Right.
No. The inside of my body was all fucked up. I was deathly ill. I'd be swimming in the fucking ocean. This coughing. I had double pneumonia all through. I was fucked up. I thought everybody had this. No. Not everybody was that fucked. I had stress fractures. Why did I have stress fractures? Because my body was so tight in my hips that was forcing my body to go in. Oh, yeah. And I was putting pressure all on the inside of my body. So I lived with stress fractures, trying to tape up my body, tape up my shins, tape up shit. You don't go through, so I went through training this way. I was so fucked up. Issues with my fucking abdomen, issues with my fucking groin, all kind of messed up issues. So I realized I went through training, 100-mile races, 200-mile races, pull-up records, all on the mind. It wasn't a physical thing I had. I was broken, literally broken at the start line of everything I did, including Navy SEAL training, Ranger School, everything I did in the military, I was fucked. But I didn't sit back and say, hey man, so no one knew.
Right.
No one knew.
Yeah, because you weren't talking about it.
I wasn't talking about it, and this is really the first time I really talked about it. So I basically realized, my God, man, at the sickest time in my life, I realized, my God, I was so fucked up the entire time. So now, the mind is so powerful. I figured that out.
Sure.
Now, if I can get this body all stretched out, opened up, get all my organs working properly, now let's see at 44, let's see what can really happen.
Yeah, so you're just getting started then.
That's the mentality right now, man. So, yeah.
What separates somebody like yourself? Because, I mean, let's be honest, you're not the only one who's dealt with serious hardship in your life.
No, not at all.
But what separates somebody like yourself who's managed to rise above it and somebody who takes the same type of hardship and uses it to play a victim card or a pity party and go cower in the corner?
Right. It's how you look at it. And I looked at my shit was, this is the perfect training ground to being a man. You know, a lot of people, like I was talking about taking the path of least resistance. I believe in life you must earn the right to be called a man. And a lot of people do not think the way I do, and that's fine. I'm not asking to be David Goggins. Trust me, it's a hard fucking road to hoe. It's not fun.
Like it.
It's not fun all the time. But the thing about it is, you have to look, I looked at my hardships as challenges. Once I got over the pity party, because I went through that phase.
Of course.
I'm a normal human being. But I realized that that got me exactly where I was at, even worse. As I looked at those challenges the way most people do, woe is me. Why the fuck can't I get a break? Why? I wish I was better. I wish my parents were better. I wish I had a better education. I wish this, I wish that. They have all these wish sandwiches. I started realizing, how can I fucking figure out how this shit can fucking work for me? So the one thing we don't do is when we're in that dark place is a great learning environment. If you can sit back in a dark place and find quiet to just think, there's so much power in your failures, in your fucking, in your suffering. Because why? You're still alive. You're still fucking here. So you gotta look at that shit as, my God, man, this is power, man. Like, now I gotta flip this shit. How many men will be able to do what I'm about to do, what I'm about to try to do? Like, literally, what gave me strength was when I was at the worst of my worst, How many men would even fucking say they want to try to be a Navy SEAL right now?
Yeah, very few, if any.
I'm at the worst spot of my life. Like, I can't even walk down the street, let alone run down the street. And I'm going to now call a recruiter up and try to be a SEAL. There's a lot of power in that. But people don't see it that way. They see it, man, that's stupid.
Did you believe at that point that you really could, or were you being, do you feel like, I don't know, over aspirational, or did you like genuinely believe I could do this at that point?
I genuinely believed I could do it. And the reason why, because I had this voice in the back of my head that I kept on running from. I was afraid of the water. I was afraid of dealing with things that made me feel unaccepted. I didn't accept myself. So I kept on going towards things that I felt good. Let me go this way. But something kept on saying, motherfucker, you have it, man. You got it, man. But you're going to have to fail a lot. But you have it. And like I said, that voice kept on haunting me. But that voice kept on saying, if you face it, you realize it's not that bad.
What do you think that voice is? I mean,
I always, to me, it's God.
Yeah, I know you've talked about that a little
bit. To me, it's God. And I don't get off on the whole spiritual tangent. You know, I don't push that on anybody. I don't care what you believe in. But if you think you're the only motherfucker out here, just chilling out, and there's nothing, and I don't know what God is. No one does. I don't know anything about it, but I know there's something that is above David Goggins. There's too much energy in this world. There's too much. Trust me, I've experienced it, man. There's too much energy, and people call it God. You call it what you want. There's something out there that if you can tap into more than yourself, that there's something out there that truly exists. That if you're able just to let yourself go there, it truly exists. And that voice has been in my head, and whatever it is, it's been there. And I didn't want to listen to it because listening to it was painful. Listening to it because it drove me to my fears. It drove me to my insecurities. It drove me to my lies. It drove me to the spot that made me feel self-doubt. And I didn't want to go there. It drove me, like, hey, over here in this pile of shit, where everything is at, you're going to find the true meaning of your life. But I'm like, over there is all the bad shit. I don't want to go over there.
Right.
Like I don't want to.
You?
I don't want to go like my dad's over there. The people didn't like me over there. I'm over there. All that shit is over there. But once you go over there and start to re-examine that shit and start to master what you're afraid of, it's unbelievable, man. Like I wish to God, the only way I can really describe it is if I can get my brain and put it in someone's head and say, all right, motherfucker, just shut the fuck up and just hear. I can't explain it well enough. But here, I'm not super fucking man. Just this, look, this is what happens. Because basically, what's over there is victory. It's all fucking victory. But you have to have the balls and the fucking courage, man. And that's the hard part. There's no science behind this shit. There's no fucking practice. Literally, you have to have the balls to go in your own life, in your own shit. And once you go in there and you're able to face it and able to talk about it, you're now in the even playing field with everybody in the world. I don't give a fuck where you come from, how much money your parents have, how much money you didn't have. If you're able to handle yourself, know what you're about, know what you're made of, know how fucked up you are now on an even playing field with the world. So once I did that, all these people who have more money than me, where they came from, had great parents and everything, they're like, oh my God, I caught all you motherfuckers. That quick. Because all the money, all the surface things go away. Because we all are human beings.
Right.
That money and shit, all that material shit, doesn't matter. It's what's deep inside of the core of your soul that fucking matters. And that's what I realized, man. I leveled the playing field out. But I had to go over there and face that shit first.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the same, I'm the master of mercy. Oh, ooh, the master of mercy. Oh, ooh. From a young age, taking my soul into the masses, writing my poems for the few that looked at me, took to me, shook to me, feeling me, singing my heartache from the pain. from the veins, speaking my